It's word for word. Uh-oh.
I know, I forgot to start it. So I was just gonna say, we're now recording all of these meetings. And so I'm not sure if summary minutes will make a difference. I would ask that of legal counsel as well.
Just putting it out there.
And Ted may mention it when he gets to his report, but there's still the issue with the decision form. So somebody's gonna have to redo that. I've gone as far as I can. I've checked on the CEO's computer. I've checked with both the planning board and the zoning board. Neither of them have an electronic copy. Nobody has an electronic copy that can be revised. So somebody's going to have to start a whole new form to make the additions that we wanted to clarify what the variance is for and the specifics that the planning board had mentioned.
Oh, right, yeah, when we
Just more detail, you know, we have this sheet,
yes, I remember you talking
there's
about.
not a lot of detail on it, just very general, so. Planning board in particular has difficulty determining what variances have actually been granted. And some of our applicants aren't really sure what they're asking for or what they're given.
Right.
And so we've been kind of verbally talking back and forth to the planning board or the zoning board chairman and getting that verbally. That's not very good.
Do you want to mark a form up and something that you might be
Well,
appropriate?
I think we brought that.
Yeah, please.
Just the other towns have some nice.
Good,
We'll work on it.
that'd be great.
No,
No,
yeah,
they're
it'll take somebody.
Best- best practices if something's working, especially a larger town that's got more volume, more people looking at it. Absolutely. Thank you. Highway superintendent. Chairman. Oh, planning board, oops, I skipped Ted. Oh, well, sorry, Ted.
Oh, we don't have anything to report, basically. We did meet October 24th. You have the draft minutes. The draft minutes are correct. Just trying to clean up a few things at the end, you know, getting close to the end of the year. We have some applications that have been given preliminary approval, but they haven't come back with final surveys. There's a 6-month time frame within which the final should be presented. So we sent out some letters to a couple of applicants reminding them to get the survey next. Really, that's all. That's the only business we had. Everybody's getting their 4 hours of training. They'll be coming in this month.
Well, that's good.
Well, excuse me, they'll be coming in December 3rd. There's a statewide training session by New York Planning. Many of us are attending that.
I'll look forward to seeing those so we can process their annual training.
So we will meet the training requirements by the end of the year.
Because you could also say we may withhold that last check if they're not in compliance with a few things.
So that's all we did.
Thank you. Karen.
Alrighty, so we've been taking advantage of the extended decent weather and getting prepped on for next year's road projects. So we're down on Old Westlake North. Replaced some driveway pipes, 4 of them. Added a cross pipe. Reconstructed 1,000 feet of shoulder and ran the entire length of the road and trimmed overhanging branches and cut out dead trees from within the right of way. We've also, we're up on the east part of Holmes Road, took down several dead trees. 2 of them were huge and pretty dangerous for us to work on, so I had Tom Dunn come and take them down to where we could reach them out of the lift that we have rented. Both of those I had Benjamin Tree Service came out and he gave me estimates to cut four trees and do a little bit of overhanging work, and it was like $5,500 is what he wanted. So we got with Anmar, rented a 40-foot boom lift for $1,800, I believe, for the entire month. And I've just been going around from road to road and doing as much with it as we can. So we are also down town of Richmond, had trucks down there helping the Richmond Fire Department milling and paving of their parking lot. We worked with Ontario County to fix the spot out on 37 that was still ponding, and then in return, they brought the paver and the roller and their manpower here to the town hall parking lot, and we did a little pave patch out in the front section there where it was falling apart. We're complete with round 3 of roadside mowing. I gotta give credit to Tim. He did an awesome job this summer as normal. And at this point, he's planning on coming back again next year, so. And the last remaining 7 miles of center line were striped on our roads as well. So the 2023 F-250s and the 550 truck quotes that everybody should have. They've changed the pricing date and the order date from the last meeting when we discussed this, so the order date started today, closes on December 16th, and I've been told that it could close at any time, depending on if their allotment is filled before that date. The new International 10-wheeler that we have, is at regional, it's been there for a week and a half. We've used the thing 3 times, and every time that we've used it, the alarm comes on in the cab and a message comes up on the dashboard for excessive exhaust temperature. And there's right now trying to duplicate what we're seeing so they can figure out what's wrong with it, driving around with the computer attached, and haven't come up with any answers at this point. So they're not doing a very good job, in my opinion, of getting some repeat business from us. Seeing we've had this new truck for 2 months and haven't even had a chance to use it yet. Because the alarms come on and we don't know what it is. We don't want to blow a brand new truck up,
Right.
And we had the 1 ton, the F-550 was at Shepherd Ford. Suspension and handling issues, that we've been dealing with that all summer long, and they replaced the what was it?
Treating mount?
No, it was a torsion rod on the front of it. And then, of course, had to do another alignment because of the front end suspension work that they did. So we had Evan Earl, our intern, was here for the 2 weeks. And that worked out really good. We got him involved in pretty much everything we were doing on a daily basis. Got him up into a couple of the pieces of equipment and took him up dirt road up on Candice Hill, let him run the roller while we were doing a little bit of grading up there. Got him to use the roller. And I think overall for us and the guys having the experience to get a younger guy interested in coming into what we do, it was great.
Mhm.
Huge. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Mhm.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully we keep that
Yep.
going again.
Yeah, I've had to fill out paperwork with the BOCES program, and they've asked if we'd be willing to do it again, and checked I checked the guest box. And the one downfall to the brushwork that we've been doing, we did have an injury. Where the guy was on the ground, Ryan. Probably about 10 feet away from where Joe was working in the lift. Normally, when you cut the branch, you cut the bottom side of it, and then you finish your cut on the top, so it falls straight down. Well, it got hung up on a little piece of bark. And we're talking like a 2-foot branch that was probably 4 inches, and it swung. And it probably traveled 16, 18 feet to where he was, and it hit him in the side. So he went to the emergency room. Luckily, it's just bruising and some lacerations, but he's back to work now.
Didn't have x-rays, did he?
He did have x-rays, and I believe he had a CAT scan as well. They wanted to make sure that they didn't have a broken rib and any internal injuries, because
The ambulance took him.
the ambulance took him. Yeah, he was real tender to the touch, and he was exhibiting signs of shock. So at that point, we didn't want to mess around with having to put him in a pickup truck and drive him over. We just called the ambulance.
Good call. Mhm.
And that's all I got. Well, besides,
Mhm. The finance,
Spectrum approached me, they want to install 5 utility poles at Timmons Road. Dick Gamble's house, basically it's across 2 houses. I told him I was fine with it, but as per the highway law, it's ultimately up to the consent of the town board for them to do any work in the right of way, so.
and it's not possible to do underground up there.
They could, I don't know if there's already existing
Mm,
poles, and then it crosses over Tibbles Road, and then it goes way out back. The lines go way out back in the field.
Hmm.
But they're trying to service 2 houses that are on the same side as the existing poles before they cross.
I'm just trying to save everybody future headaches.
Right?
Yeah, I get,
I mean, it would be possible. There's a bunch of trees right there they'd have to go under, and I
mm,
don't know price wise what the
yeah, direct
what the
bore.
difference is between installing poles and.
And have we said yes in the past?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did, 2 years ago, they did, well, it's an underground up on, Red Barn Trail in Quakendow, where they had to go under the road, and then they did all the way up, that's all private road anyways, but
Good.
they had to cross under the, Quakendow to get to it, so. I guess that would be up to you guys whether, I don't see an issue with it as long as.
Do they have to have legal paperwork for right away?
No, because they already have that, so they don't need a permit or anything as long as they have consent from the board and from me.
I got a problem. If you're okay, I'm okay.
Okay.
You cited it, right?
Yeah, he's got flags marked up out there and everything where he wants to put it, so I told him as long as you're on the backside of the right of way and it's not gonna be in my way, I don't have an issue.
And then just making sure they put them where they're saying they're gonna put them.
Right.
And when they mark that spot, is that the center of the pole or the edge of the pole?
Hmm.
That's my question.
Just an FYI, I had a conversation with Jeremy before the meeting, discussing the $104 a month dumpster service. And then in the billing, it says weekly, and I questioned it to Jeremy whether they're picking up weekly, and after I had a conversation with him, I realized it's a monthly bill that they pick up weekly, but the bill is for the month.
Oh,
$4 a week, $4. It's pretty cheap. I can live with that, so. Probably ignored my
All right.
suggestion. Good catch, John.
But you could save them some gas money.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
That's all I got, other than the two quotes for the trucks.
So when do we have, when? When do we have to make that decision? Do we wait till next meeting when we get the quotes back, or when do they expire?
The quotes, I believe, are good for 30 days.
Okay,
Next meeting puts us, well, like 2 days before the shut off date for the order period.
so Van Bortles till December 23rd. And the other one is.
Well, I'm assuming they have a quota of so many, and once they're taken, they're taken. So I wouldn't want to run to the end here.
Okay,
Correct, I am,
do we want to move on this tonight?
make that same assumption with you.
So I would just as soon approve Jeremy to not exceed the high bids there for those two trucks and let him figure out when and which, but I would order them this week if it was me.
So for the F-250s, I got prices from Van Bortle. And then from Genesee Valley Ford. Same exact trucks. Van Bortle was the cheaper on that truck by
$600, $700.
$700,
Yeah.
yeah. Which was basically what it worked out to the last time as well.
Okay,
On the 550. Genesee Valley was actually the cheaper of the two.
mm-hmm,
And. So I got to looking at the differences. Both of the upfitting is being done by MDI. Trucks over in Auburn. And the best I could tell is. Genesee Valley Ford gave me MDI's. I have their bid sheet with all their pricing on there. And when I look at what Van Bortles did, they're adding $500 here, a couple $100 there to all this stuff, and it basically cushioned their price up.
almost
Couple
$6,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, same exact truck, you're just. Basically putting a middleman fee onto. The upfitters pricing. Because the actual cabin chassis was cheaper through Van Bortle than it was through Genesee Valley.
mm-hmm. But then for maintenance, you're running to
So-
Avon instead of up
what's
to
your-
East
so-
Rochester.
Right,
So is your recommendation Van Bortle for the 250 and Genesee Ford for the 550?
yes,
You want us
that would
to
be my
approve that?
recommendation.
What do you want to do?
What's that?
I make a motion that he's gives him a letter of intent.
I'm just
They-
calculating
they
the
have
difference
letters
of
of
miles between the two and. Genesee Valley Ford is
Much,
20 miles closer.
much closer.
And 25,
Yeah,
or say 10 miles closer and.
Yeah.
14 minutes, so that's the difference there.
okay, so the Maverick is supposed to be on what schedule, or are we tabling that vehicle?
Not
Let's
really
see.
sure about that.
That's CEO.
Right,
Star said he was authorized to put a letter of intent.
That's on hold. That's
right,
on hold.
right. But according to the resolution, because I think the resolution was in the last board minutes.
Yes, it
It's-
was. So that was approved.
Right, it's supposed to go on the equipment schedule. I think
Yes,
it stated that in the resolution.
yes.
And so when I add that, we've got to come up with $150,000 from somewhere. It'd be, right, we need 120 extra for the grader. And then another 30 for the Maverick. And so I'm assuming that we've got plans,
So this would be for 23.
yeah, dipping into general fund or dipping into highway for the 100.5. I just want to make sure we're, walking through the finances.
Well, great, they were supposed to be purchased entirely out of the general fund.
Right.
Okay,
Why are you discussing that?
cause I did not see that. It says, fund balance or line transfer. And so that's coming out of general fund.
In its entirety, yes. Yes. It's a difference of about $30,000 in interest.
Yeah, we just, and that's a whole, it made sense. We had the money. Why pay the interest?
Then you're good. Okay, just make the, and what I would do is I would drop that 276 down below. And label it general fund.
Fund balance or in the, what's in the fund balance and line transfer right now.
Exactly, just label that general fund, and then I'm not messing with you.
Okay.
Please,
And so it's in the right.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Kate.
yep,
Yeah, I'll have to get that information on that matter from Steve then and add that to.
29,514.30.
So what do you need then, Jeremy?
You need signatures. And resolutions.
Right, I can send a letter of intent to place the order. And then we can do a resolution at the next month's meeting.
They don't need it from tonight's meeting,
Oh, no, they're good with a letter of intent.
okay?
We've got a relationship.
So the letter of intent is for the F-250 from Van Bortle and the F-550 from Genesee Valley, or are you gonna get them from the same
Correct.
place?
You were correct the first. time.
Okay, all right. And it still would be a good idea to have a motion and second that that's what's being approved, even though we aren't gonna do the resolution until next month.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did the letter of intent get sent out last month for the Maverick?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
No, the resolution did. You talking about the CEOs?
mhm,
Yes.
No, the letter of intent was the month before, and the resolution got sent last month.
mhm.
So they got both documents.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. I think did we make a motion to approve the purchases?
Yes, you just need to know all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. On reports, I made a small addition to Terry's report. I'm sure you caught that, since it was in Word, and I initialed it.
Oh. No, I did not catch that.
It's in the first couple sentences,
Yeah.
but I initialed it.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Okay.
I see it now.
I
Yes,
see your
yes,
report.
now I see it. Yes.
But I did initial it.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. That's good. I wasn't reading it.
That's
So
okay.
just, I've sent you all an email, but as of last Thursday, the DEC contractor was 72% complete on the elm treatment pilot. They suspended operations. Hopefully they'll start tomorrow or Wednesday because of the rain we had from the remnants of the hurricane as it came through. So they told Dorothy and I last Thursday, the contractor, that they had 4 work days left. But it's all weather dependent. Rain, wind, and so forth. Betsy Landry and I are going to continue to do our due diligence now on an aeration system. Our next step is to try to talk to as many lake primes as we have, the kin of similar size that have aeration systems. We want to be sure. But the key here is the DEC has told us that they are going to monitor the water quality for 3 to 5 years after, starting next year. So they're not, even if we wanted to, even if we secured the funding, they are not going to allow us to interfere with their pilot
Monitoring.
evaluation. So we're 3 to 5 years out on an aeration system.
Hmm.
However, I'm kind of blending the two together for a reason. The Elm pilot could have a 3-year lifespan, 5-year lifespan, 7-year lifespan, 10 years at most. We don't know if it's 3 or 10 or somewhere in between. So we're just going to have to monitor this real close. But elm treatment works. It's a proven thing for decades,
Mhm.
but it has a finite amount of phosphorus it can bind, and it has a finite lifespan. And it's also heavily weather dependent. If we get 1 or 2 100-year storms a year, rainstorms, brings a lot of sediment and nutrients into the lake, it will consume the elm faster
Mhm.
than if we have summers like last summer. So
Is the drop in temperature gonna mess with the treatment? I know water has to be above 40.
yeah, it has to be above 40, but the water's still gotta be close to 50 degrees.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Okay.
there are 9 billion gallons of water in the lake, 9 billion gallons. And I don't want to get too technical, but you would have to heat all 9 billion gallons about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That takes a lot of energy
Mhm.
to do that. On October 27th, we had our quarterly task force meeting. Normal project updates and normal business, and that is my report.
I have a small item to add. So I was monitoring the application of the alum, and I was excited to watch it. And one day I watched it and I was watching it make the turn. And it's making a turn, it's making a turn. And it's still going. I got in my car, I started heading north. And after about a mile and a half, I saw, okay, it's getting gas, we're good. And I went back home. So, but I was concerned why all of a sudden it was going a place I'd never been. It's going past the drop zone. Why are they going up there?
Well,
So I didn't realize they were getting gas.
okay, so our confidence level is pretty high, because here's how they are. Here's how they are guiding the barges. Dorothy and I spent 40 hours on the lake in a 13-foot Boston whaler, collecting data with our Lowrance Step Finder and GPS. Every 5 seconds, latitude, longitude, and depth. I learned how to drive a boat perfectly straight across the lake, 200-foot transects, east-west. 63,000 data points. We got a beautiful bathymetric map. I gave them a bathymetric map last spring. I said, this is great. A couple months later, they come back and said, we bet you have an Excel spreadsheet with all the raw data in it. Yeah. And I said, yes. We would like that.
Mhm.
So the contractor took our raw data,
Nice.
ran it to a GPS system. These are all computer controlled in terms of their path and their tracks.
That's what I saw.
So they're all computer controlled, and they also, to get the right dosage, the amount of elm being delivered through the pipes is a function of the speed of the barge to get the right dosage.
Huh.
If the barge speed varies, then the rate of elm discharge has got.
Speed and feed rates.
Yeah.
Speed and feed rates.
So it's computer controlled the whole way.
Cool.
It's just like machining.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. So
Processing.
I have a high degree of confidence
Yeah, that's neat. Speeds and feeds. That's
because I know where the raw data came from.
neat. Thank you. That's awesome.
I'm done.
Thank you. No, and I appreciate you letting me. I just thought it was pointing at it, can't in that way. Assessor report you got in writing, nothing. Discussed there. Did get the cameras. And they're starting to use them, so they're starting to take those pictures now. which will help with the reassessment. And I'll probably keep going on, even though the weather's turned. Water district operations.
And just as a side note, it was good timing when the cameras came in. The CEO's camera accidentally got dropped in a water puddle and is no longer working.
The old one, right?
Yep,
Okay,
the one that was originally supposed to be shared by both offices.
okay,
So that was good timing.
whoopsie. Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. So water usage is actually down the month of October from last October. We total pumped was 667,000. Last year was 831-ish. You also have the quarterly expenses, including stakeouts and other operational expenses. And the one piece that you do not have yet is the actual gallonage reconciliation. I've sent a copy of the report that I prepared over to Patty Bedard. And it's off for some reason, and I'm assuming that it's something that I'm doing. So we will hear back from her by next month.
We need to renegotiate the price that we pay for the audit. Because that's
Yeah.
extremely.
Do you know?
I haven't seen or heard a thing about it.
So I don't remember when the contract expires. So we pay, and I'm gonna use like round numbers. We pay like 4 cents a gallon and we charge out 8 cents. The overhead pays for, these expenses. But when I first came onto the board, Mark Momendier had shared the same thing. That our rate appears to be higher than other towns. So at the point where the contract gets renegotiated, we're gonna have to look at it.
And is that a function of because we have so many people paying into it?
No,
No, I think part of it's,
Personality conflicts was well with the charge from Monroe County Water Authority.
Oh, that,
And
yeah,
that are paying the highest rate in Monroe County Water Authority.
Yeah, because we hear about it. Didn't we have to have a number to go to get the grant or to get something? And so the guy had us, so we just throw out this really high number. We didn't have a choice because we had to, we had to guarantee who was giving us the water.
You know, we're giving our water to the city of Rochester, they're selling it to Monroe County Water Authority.
right. And remember too, Richmond is involved. Because it does come through their water system as well, yeah. So it'll be fun to untangle.
but the actual contract is with Monroe County Water Authority because they're their water department now, whereas before they had their own water department. So
Correct.
technically it's with MCWA.
so they're finding time for this, only out to listen to.
Mhm.
Part-time job. Okay. All right,
It's actually a relatively cheap price to pay for clean sanitized water.
Mhm. True.
And I have to say, there are several people who always send some kind of thank you note with their water bill because they're so excited to have good water.
that's nice to know.
Mhm.
I did circulate the shelter report and I'm gonna follow up on that the rusty doors that's been there since I first started looking at that, and it's probably been going on for a while. Why that's not fixed is puzzling to me. So you got the supervisor financial report?
Yes, and I'd like to follow up with Krista, and we may need 5 minutes of help from Chris Singer. I don't know if we are charging the ARPA funds correctly. There should be a $29,000 charge against it for the first payment.
Yes.
And the only thing I'm seeing so far is the $2,500 that we paid to Natural Systems.
For the engineering.
Yeah,
Geez, that happened, that was
Yeah, yeah, but I'm keeping track of that because we also have $494 from the town attorney that we need to apply to it. So, and we don't have to do the next report until next April, but it's always good to know what we're doing.
Yeah, Chris Singer's actually gonna come in to help her on a couple things, this week. We already talked about.
Okay, I'll shoot her an email
Yeah.
and copy you.
Yep, yep, please.
And then can I also ask them to look at this $63,000 deficit in the capital project? That should also be corrected before the end of the year.
Absolutely.
We should not have a deficit in a cash account.
63.99.57.
Yeah.
Bill,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a reconciliation item.
okay. All right,
We fix it for the storage facility. We should be able to fix it for the water project.
it's sliding in the right spot.
Exactly,
Training.
correct. Other than that, I would motion to approve the supervisor's financial report.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
It carries.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, you guys were just too quick.
Absolutely. To go over those transfers, that's sort of the same kind of thing, there's no other transfers. Unfinished business, I talked to Jeremy about this a little bit. We did get some feedback from Martin, but I would. If we ask for something in writing,
So we've got a timeline, right?
Yeah.
oh. What's the date on that?
The 16th of September.
Okay,
And some of it's up in the air until the equipment gets here. Is that true?
Yeah.
The one thing we should ask
I can
for,
update your timeline.
Hmm.
I'm meeting with him, with Leonard and somebody from North Nagel Drilling on Tuesday, the 22nd
cool,
at 10 o'clock here. And then they're scheduled to drill the week of the 28th.
beautiful. Take pictures with your new camera.
I got a cell phone for you. Okay, well, that's good, that's good information, and I don't recall seeing that, so it escaped me somehow.
All right, I'll make you a copy.
Good.
Okay, in line with the HVAC, you've got almost just $2 short of $500 in bidding dispute in their current fee.
Probably related to the foil,
Mhm.
the foil that was. Aces asked for a foil Freedom of Information Act,
Yeah,
and there was a lot of work that needed to be done, and we needed to bring our attorney in just to make certain that we had our ducks in a row, should that. Get. Should further,
action be taken by ACES. Yeah,
so we were prepared.
yeah, it's $494. That also has to go against the ARPA funds. Mhm.
They
I
were
think I marked up shares,
arbitrating why they didn't get the bid.
Yes, he took issue with not receiving the final approval.
it sort of awarded the contract and then said, whoops. On that $10,000 mistake was made or whatever.
They're bigger than that, yeah.
Unfortunately. Okay, incredibly, I got a network systems map. So just under 2 months,
Yay.
and it really helped. From integrated systems, that made me happy, still working on a few little details on day-to-day stuff with them. The other resolution for the adoption of the town budget, which we approved.
I make a motion to adopt the 2023 town budget.
I'll second it. Those in favor?
Aye.
Carries. New business, we have them to go back to all those ones for just a moment. Oh, sure.
It's probably been turned off in the back of red shape.
It is actually turned off in September. It was.
And,
And speaking of the historian, I went to take down the town sign, I get over there and it was gone. I think highway department might have taken it down, so that was really nice. So that was good. And there's still things in that building. Every time I go in there, I find something that we can use. So if anybody wants to go over there someday, there are things in there, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, look at this. I got highlighters, paper clips, and I've been in there 3 or 4 times. They keep coming every time I go in there, I find some, okay, stuff there. There's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of valuable historical records, and I don't know what we're gonna do with them.
nothing, everything up you want.
I was gonna say, is there room here?
Not for all the things, no, there's a lot of stuff. Wow. There's books, postcards.
Under other unfinished business, has there been any resolution on that building down at Kirkland Point? If we spend another, we spend over $5,000 and return each for that.
It's still going on.
No.
It's still going on.
Wondering if we get it up.
It might get worse. But that's one reason why our attorney's involved, because if it does go Article 78, we're much more prepared with a binder. Where it's actually organized and resetting the timeline and documenting the whole process, was just not what we want to see going forward. So sometimes it's better to bring our attorney involved. Initially, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm meeting with the attorney now once a month, just to be certain. And if we don't need a meeting, we'll cancel it, but just so it's on the calendar.
Okay,
Yep, no,
this would make a lot of money.
it is,
Mhm.
and depending on what way it goes. Could be, or could be substantial. So that's why, going into our next. Getting there.
Mhm.
Okay, oh, thank you. Thanks for bringing that up. And there's still privilege of the floor too. Resolution time reporting for New York State retirement. We have 3 recently elected people that. Resolution for that.
I make a motion to approve.
Second,
Those in favor?
Aye.
aye,
That carries. And our annual intermunicipal agreement with Richmond Recreation, which we approved the budget, and now it's the formal
Mhm.
documentation that serves our residents. And they've been pretty good about giving me a breakdown of what residents attend their many programs.
Motion to approve.
Second. March 2nd, those in favor?
aye,
And we approved the Richmond Fire District contract. I'm set. Good news is interviewed some potential CEO candidates. They went well. I had the assistant deputy CEO sit in with me, and we came up with the same understanding of who we felt was the best candidate, and still doing the background checks, and hope to make an offer within the next week or so, and then start just before Thanksgiving with our CEO and training. So there'll be some training hours for him.
Vice President?
Both are. And I've had discussions with other town supervisors, and it's an ongoing. We're lucky we had 2 applicants. We have 2 applicants that we feel would do a decent job. The alternative is to bring in the county at $60 an hour. And that'll be a very sticky. Yes, I don't want to do that. You're correct.
Speaking with different residents with Richmond. And the county code enforcement officers. Are strict to the rule, whereas our code enforcement officers can, work with the individual, and it's a pain in the ass to deal with the county.
Right, we kind of want to find that balance, because the thing is, the flip side of that is our situation with Pickerel Point. We don't want to.
Mhm.
It's great to be, hey, that looks good. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So we want to really understand the code and understand current best practices, and how to properly do the job. So yes, it'd be nice to have our own. But we need to tighten things up in our documentation. And I think our planning board will help us with that, and our great town board will help us with that. But know that many towns are going with outside services in many, many departments because of the job. Requirements. The job requirements, and then just if something happens to an individual or you've got a transition. It's better to have people that know how to do the job.
Because we bring somebody in from the county at 60 bucks an hour. Are we gonna have the same established hours that we have written present?
That depends on a lot of things, yeah. That depends on a lot of things, yeah. But we're not intending to go that way, but that would be a backup plan that I had to explore just in case.
At 60 bucks an hour, we're almost doubling our quote person months, but
Correct. Yes. So, somebody could still sneak in an application at the last second if you know anyone, but, that's where that one is, and we also have a gardening position as well, and that person will also. Be filled, and our gardens have improved tremendously, and we want to keep them that way.
Mhm.
And that's the nice thing to have for our town. We got lots of great compliments. Holiday party. I thought I'd set that date early, December 21st, pass it on to your respective board members, colleagues. Departments. What time to bring someone, dish to pass. The usual fun. Maybe it'll be some yada.
Noon,
In noon.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, you can be there?
I don't know. I have to check my calendar.
That's right.
It's on a Wednesday. And approval of the bills.
I make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second.
And those in favor?
Aye.
All right. It carries. Privilege of the floor.
short intro here.
I'll second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Short meeting. Thank you, everyone.